The mind that never stops. The secret history of the men who refuse to be defeated. There is a type of man that history never forgets. Not because he was born with more talent, not because luck knocked on his door first, but because when the entire world said, "It's over," he said, "It starts now." You are about to discover the secret that separates those who win from those who disappear. And I'm warning you, what you're about to hear in the next few minutes will change the way you see your own life forever. Subscribe to the channel right now and hit the bell, because every single day we publish stories that no school will ever teach you. Rome, 2nd century AD. A young slave born in the ruins of a destroyed family learns to read in secret by the faint light of a candle that barely illuminates the page. Every word he deciphers is an act of silent rebellion against a system built specifically to keep him on the ground. Nobody believed in him. Nobody bet a single cent on his future. But inside that mind, pulsing with an invisible ferocity, there was something no chain could ever hold, the absolute certainty that he had been made for something greater. That young man grew up, and the world that tried to crush him before he even started was forced to bow its head before what he became. This is not a coincidence of history. This is a pattern that repeats itself with terrifying precision across all centuries, on every continent, in every civilization that has ever existed on this earth. The greatest warriors humanity has ever known were not the strongest physically. The greatest leaders who changed the course of entire nations were not the smartest people in the room. The greatest empire builders did not have the best resources or the best conditions. What they had was different. It was internal. It was a flame that never went out, no matter how many storms came. In the Middle Ages, when the Black Death swept through Europe and killed 1/3 of the continent's population, there were those who locked themselves in their castles waiting for death to arrive, and there were others who went out into the streets, grabbed the tools, buried the dead, and began to rebuild while the smell of tragedy was still in the air. History does not remember the first ones. History is made by the second ones. But here is the question nobody asks. What was happening inside the minds of those men? What made them different? Because it was not the absence of fear. Every human being who has ever lived felt fear. It was not the absence of pain. Pain is democratic. It visits everyone without exception. It was something else. It was refusal. The deliberate, conscious, furious refusal to let the present moment define the final destiny. The philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journals, texts he never planned to show anyone, that the greatest obstacle in life is not the external enemy. It is the internal voice that convinces a man he has already reached his limit, that he has already suffered enough, that he has already tried enough, that he deserves to rest in mediocrity. Aurelius governed the greatest empire in the known world while facing wars on the borders, a devastating plague inside Rome, and betrayals within his own circle of trust. And yet, every morning before anything else, he wrote. He reminded himself of who he chose to be. This is not cheap motivation. This is a mental technology that the great men of history mastered and that most people do not even know exists. In feudal Japan, the samurai had a practice called memento mori, the daily meditation on one's own death. Every dawn, the warrior sat in silence and imagined all the ways he could die that day. Not to feel fear. For the opposite, to free himself from fear. Because when you have already faced the worst possibility in your mind, nothing that happens in the real world has power over you. You have already died 1,000 times before the sun rises. And yet, you are still standing. This is the secret that the powerful have always known, and that has rarely been written in history books the way it should have been. Resilience is not a gift. It is a choice that repeats itself every single day, in the smallest of actions, in the quietest of moments, when nobody is watching and when there is no immediate reward in sight. Think about the great explorers who crossed oceans without a map, without GPS, without any guarantee that land existed on the other side. They did not have certainty, they had decision. The difference between those two states is exactly what separates those who change the world from those who simply watch change happen. Christopher Columbus spent 7 years knocking on doors in European royal courts, asking for funding for a voyage that every expert of the time called suicide. 7 years of rejection, 7 years of laughter and looks of contempt. 7 years of being told he was crazy, that he was ignorant, that he was wasting the king's time, and he kept going. Not because he did not feel the weight of every single no, but because the weight of the regret he would carry for not trying was greater than any humiliation the world could offer. What is weighing on you right now? What rejection are you using as an excuse to stop? What past failure are you carrying as if it were a final sentence on your future? History tells you, with the precision of 1,000 examples repeated across centuries, failure is not the end. Failure is the raw material from which great men build their greatest victories. Thomas Edison failed more than 10,000 times before creating the light bulb. When a reporter asked how he felt about so many failures, Edison said something that should be carved in stone in every school in the world. He had not failed 10,000 times. He had discovered 10,000 ways that did not work. Every attempt was a brick, and he was building an edifice the world had never seen. What is the edifice you are building? How many bricks do you already have? And more importantly, did you stop laying bricks because someone laughed at your construction? The great trap that modern times have created is the illusion of speed. We live in a time where everything seems instant. Information arrives in seconds. Entertainment never stops. The comparison with someone else's success is one tap away, and this created an entire generation that gives up before starting because the result did not show up fast enough. But history laughs at that illusion, because history knows that the greatest achievements of humanity were built in silence, in slowness, in stubbornness, in sleepless nights and in mornings without certainty. Medieval cathedrals took 100 years to build. The architects who started the project died without ever seeing the result, but they built anyway, because they understood that legacy does not wait for the approval of the one who builds it. Are you building something that will last? Or are you waiting for guarantees before laying the first stone? The mind that never stops is not the mind without doubts. It is the mind that has doubts and acts anyway. It is the mind that feels fear and walks through the fear. It is the mind that sees the abyss and takes the step anyway, because it knows that wings grow during the fall, not before. This is the pattern of the greats. This is the secret that history keeps on every page that most people flip through without truly reading. And now you know. The question is what you're going to do with it. The choice is in your hands. The moment is now, and history, your history, is waiting for you to decide what kind of character you are going to be in it. There is a law that empires know and that ordinary people ignore. The pain you face today is building the power you will use tomorrow. Every sleepless night, every door slammed in your face, every time someone doubted you, all of that was being deposited into an account that only you can withdraw from. And the day of withdrawal is coming, but it only comes for those who never stopped making deposits. Alexander the Great conquered the known world before the age of 30. But before that, he spent years being trained by Aristotle, waking before the sun, sleeping after the entire camp had gone to bed, carrying more weight than any soldier around him. Not because he was forced to, because he knew that the throne of the world is not given. It is conquered inch by inch, sweat by sweat, decision by decision. When you wake up tomorrow morning, what are you going to build with the next 24 hours? Because they are your only real currency. And history is watching. Subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications. In the next video, we are going to reveal the story of the men who were destroyed by the world and yet built empires with their own hands. You do not want to miss this. The story that will change everything starts in the next video.